Where is Jay? We got to review the movie.
Hello, Adam.
Wow! What? What, Jay? What is going on?
It's not Jay. It's me, Jorpheus.
Jorpheus? That's not a good... You know what? It should have been Morpheus.
Morpheus?
Morpheus. That slides right off the tongue.
That's actually pretty good.
Thank you.
But I'm sick. It's Jorpheus.
Okay. Okay, Jorpheus. Why are you here?
I'm pretty sure you can tell by now, Adam, but this is a sponsored video.
Jorpheus, you gotta tell me. Okay,
It's
you know
way
what?
more fun to not tell you about the sponsored posts until we're right in the middle of them.
Great! Thank you so much. You're as considerate as my friend Jay.
I know, and much cooler.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, Jorpheus, who is our sponsor this time?
I'll answer your question with another question, Adam. Which pill will you choose? If you take this blue pill, you will wake up tomorrow and nothing will have changed. You'll go back to making previewed videos with Jay and everything will remain as it seems.
Great, I'll take that one.
No.
But I like making videos with Jay.
Or you take the red pill, which is a Corey krill oil pill. We're sponsored by Corey krill oil.
Oh.
Can you tell? That's what we're sponsored by.
You could have just said that.
I know, but we're trying to do a thing. we're trying to.
Okay.
Can you just embrace the bit for just a sec?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Jorpheus.
Yeah, come on,
okay.
man. You're supposed to come on. I need. Come on.
Okay, well, if I take that Corey krill oil pill,
Yes.
will I be able to dodge bullets like Neo does?
Well,
like
sorta. In that this will support your joints. So if you have to do the back bend, you'll be prepared for it. So, kinda. I mean, I don't know what the bullets are gonna do, but from a joint perspective, absolutely.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if I take that Corey krill oil pill, will I be able to like see the inner workings of the Matrix, like all the code written down stuff?
Yeah. Well, this red pill, it will definitely assist in vision health. So if the code is there to be seen, you'll be able to see it good.
See it good. All right.
Yeah.
Just great.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not in charge of what the code does, you know?
Clearly.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Krill oil.
if I take that Corey krill oil pill, will I be able to save like the virtual world from a nasty computer virus like Agent Smith?
Well, I mean, I can't speak for a virtual world or like what Agent Smith's up to,
Sure.
but it will support your immune system,
Okay, that's pretty good.
you know?
Yeah.
So you got that going for you.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to assist in fighting in the Matrix, but like you'll feel better.
That's good.
And technically, you're saving the actual world because Corey krill oil is sustainably sourced in Antarctica. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I take the Corey krill oil pill,
You say that like a robot. Now I'm worried that you're in the Matrix too.
Oh, actually, I'm one of the octopuses in disguise, Jay. I've actually been looking for you. I'm sorry, Jorpheus. We've been looking for you.
Yeah, Jorpheus.
Okay, but so...
Jorpheus.
So if I take that Corey krill oil pill,
Yes. Take a pee.
am I going to wake up in a tube full of goo with, like, tubes sticking all out of my body that I got to pull out? Do you remember that scene?
No. That's not gonna happen. It's just gonna support your overall health.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean you're getting a good amount of omega-3s in there, and also it's a lot easier to digest than regular fish oil. You're not gonna get any of those fishy burps.
Fishy burps?
Yeah. Regular fish oil has a tendency to just give you a little.
Oh.
When you're fighting in the Matrix, you don't want any of them fishy burps. It's the worst.
Oh, that's gross. Okay, so...
Look
Okay.
at the red pill
Okay, I'm going to take this red pill.
from Jorpheus.
Yes, from Jorpheus'
Oh, yeah.
sweaty hand, and I'm going to take this pill, and then can we get to the review, please?
We definitely can.
Okay, here we
right
go.
after I tell everyone about Corey krill oil. Guys, if you're looking to enhance your life with omega-3s and get heart, brain, joint, eye, skin, and immune health just popping off so you can fight all the bad guys in the Matrix, you heard it here first from Jorpheus. It's got superior absorption versus fish oil, no fishy aftertaste, and it's sustainably sourced from Antarctica. Corey Krill Oil. Thanks for sponsoring this video.
Thanks.
You guys are great. This has been a lot of fun.
Here we go.
Chug-a-lug, baby.
All right.
All right.
What was the blue pill?
Oh, it's a NyQuil. It's the only blue pill you had in your house.
It's true.
And I'm pretty sure it's leaching into my hand. So I'm like, oh, it's been chore. All right, let's start this review. Hey, Peaches, welcome to Previewed, where friends don't let friends review movies alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay.
And today we're going to react, review, riff, and at the end recommend The Matrix Resurrections.
The Matrix is back, baby. It's back in a major way.
It is back. So last night, after a long day of Marvel stuff, Jay and I both watched The Marvel Resurrection. The Matrix Resurrection.
It's good.
It was a very long day yesterday.
Did you have to throw that strange trailer at us? Did you have to?
Well, we complained enough about it. Yes, it did. We watched it, and now we're going to talk about it in depth. Jay, what did you think of The Matrix Resurrection? Plural. There's multiple resurrections.
Yes. I've been thinking about this movie a lot since I watched it. Mm-hmm. And I think that informs my overall thoughts about it. I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it. I have some issues with it.
Okay.
But I think all in all, at the end of the day, I really liked it. Because it does what a Matrix movie is supposed to do.
Sure.
It makes you think.
Yes.
But not too much.
That's the point I was going to make. Remember, this is the no spoilers.
This is the no spoilers.
We're going to go in depth in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed this movie. I thought it made me think at just the right level.
Yes.
It didn't, because, if you remember, the first Matrix was amazing and, had the allegories
and it blew your gourd
and the philosophy was all, entry-level stuff that, made you think. And I was like, oh, yeah, free choice destiny. Oh, my God, 1, 1, 2. It was really, really good. And then those sequels, some people loved them, some people didn't. But I think we can all agree you really, really had to think about them.
Yeah.
Because they were, off of their own farts.
They were. It was high on its own supply in a major way.
It's time for Philosophy 301. I think this might be a little too deep for a sci-fi film with all the kung fu and stuff.
And that's one thing I respect about the movies. But there were times where I was like, I feel like in order to have a legitimate opinion of why I didn't really like 2 and 3, I need to write a college level thesis about it. And I don't. Who's got the time? Mm-hmm. You know.
And this movie did not have that problem.
No.
It was back to the first Matrix level of here's some cool philosophy, here's some interesting meta conversations, but overall, we're just gonna have a good time back in the Matrix with everybody. Here are all your old friends, here are some new friends.
And I know it sounds like
they kick it, they punch, they shoot stuff.
I just kind of wanted to see my friends. And I know that sounds oversimplistic, and it's a little member berries, it's a little nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, but it's like in the Spider-Man thing. I was like, I kind of just want to see them doing the thing again. Mm-hmm. And we got that. So I'm into it.
Now, does this movie have member berries? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it does. But do they craft the member berries in such a way where you don't really mind that they're member burying? Yeah.
Are they aware of what they're doing when they're member burying? Very much so. It is, I would say, if we're talking member berries, say a member berry has a very hard membrane.
Sure.
Similar like a cranberry or something.
Yes, yeah.
You gotta kind of soak it, and you gotta that's what they do with these member berries. They properly soak them. They mix them with sugar and make a beautiful member berry crumble out of this one.
This is a tasty dish full of member berries.
Yes. Yes.
That's this movie.
It dips into meta. It dips into the series as a whole. I think. Even if you didn't have as much of a touchstone with these first movies, I think they do it in such a way that it's pretty approachable.
Very. I also enjoyed this movie. I had no emotional reaction to it. It was all very intellectual. Like, it's like, yeah, oh man, my brain is firing right now. Oh yes.
Especially
Oh,
the first
well
45
done.
minutes. Kimberly kept trying to talk to me, and I was like, hi, I am lasered in right now. I need, like, just a sec.
If you are a fan of the Matrix films, and you know, liked or disliked the sequels, it's okay. This movie's great.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend it. It's 2.5 hours. It feels like 2.5 hours.
It does.
But not in a negative way. Because like
They're doing a lot.
It's really jam-packed with entertaining information and action. There's like, it feels its length, but not in a because like Eternals, at least for us, like felt like forever. But it was only like just a little over 2 hours. But like,
like an
man, it's
eternity.
forever. Spider-Man was also 2.5 hours, but it's like,
clip.
this is the best thing ever.
Yeah,
But this
table
is,
flip.
it felt so short. But this is, you know, right down the middle of the plate. 2.5 hours. It feels like it, but you're entertained for the 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I want to know where we're at. I want to know what's happened since the. I want to know. Like, there are times where I was like, this is a lot of exposition, but I am not mad about it.
No,
in any
it's
way.
good exposition. It's smartly done. It's the scenes are composited very well. The dialogue's done very well. That is like, hey, here's the information you need to know about where things stand, and it's not boring and dry.
I think to wrap up our spoiler-free zone, it is not a perfect movie. That being said, you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. I
Yeah.
think you probably really enjoy it.
And it sets up, if they wanted to do more, it sets up more in a fun way.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. I was like, okay, yeah. Why not?
Much like Spider-Man No Way Home, that did a lot. It did a lot with its time. This movie also did a lot in a much different way, but also did a lot of heavy lifting to if we wanted to, you know what? This is pretty good, you guys. You could, if you wanted to keep going, like,
Okay.
I wouldn't say no.
I'm not gonna kick it out of bed for eating crackers, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Alright, I think we need to get into spoilers.
Okay, spoilers.
Spoilers! Can
So-
you make the words bigger next time? You made them so small last time. Why did you make them so small?
You know, because everyone's little spoiler sense would kick in.
Oh.
This time, okay, big,
Huge.
big,
I wanted to
okay.
take up the whole screen.
Okay.
Spoilers!
Okay, so there is a lot to talk about here.
A lot to talk about.
So we broke it up into a couple of different categories. We're going to go one at a time through this stuff. So I think that probably the best place to start is let's just talk about the overall story first.
Okay.
All right. So, and I think I caught most of this. So Phil, jump in at any time I missed something.
Did you watch it with subtitles?
No.
I did.
You always do, yeah.
Well, no, but they were off, and I was like, we don't need them. And then, like, literally, like, in the first 5 minutes, I was like, I need subtitles on. I was like, I have no idea what anyone's saying, and I need to know.
Okay. So I'm going from I'm not going to go like literally through the story, like through the movie's story.
Oh, sure,
I'm
sure.
So it is 60 years later after the events of the last one, Revolutions, right?
Yeah.
Neo and Trinity are dead.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a new Matrix
Yeah.
that has been created
Uh-huh.
and is being run by, this is the first big spoiler, it's NPH is the ultimate bad guy.
And what
Bum.
and he's a good bad guy.
He's a very good
God,
bad guy.
he's so good.
I was kind of like,
He's so good in this movie.
yeah. So he's the guy in charge of the new Matrix.
Yeah.
And apparently it's not because we thought like maybe it's like a sub Matrix or something. Maybe like they're hoarding Neo and Trinity in some little like area, and like everyone else is in a different Matrix. Like no,
Yeah.
it's like just a brand new Matrix where everybody else is in.
Yeah.
And they're just hidden.
They've
in this-
upgraded the software.
Yes, they're hidden in a new Matrix, and they're just trying to like keep Neo and Trinity apart from each other so they can keep power.
Yeah.
But our heroes on the outside are still trying to find Neo because
Yeah.
there's some type of somebody knew something about something that he might still be around. Finally find him, and then that starts the cascade of effects of like, oh no, we got to re-break this new Matrix and get our one back and try to basically do the same thing we did from the first movie, which is like free everybody. But in this case, it's like, you know what? It's been 60 years. Things are different on the outside now. And it makes a lot more sense that why we have to kind of do the same thing we did in the first movie.
Yeah. Like, we've had a lot of reboots of franchises that have kind of like emulated their first movies in a way lately. But this is the first one that I was like, no, this makes sense. This makes sense. Like, I can accept that, like, we are going to have to free Neo from the Matrix again, because that's kind of how the world Like, that's the world that they built around. Like, the cyclical, like, continuation of the Matrix, like, is built into, I mean, not to use a parlance, but, like, it's built into the code of this thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think what we've seen definitely recently is that these movies that are doing soft reboots or, like, sequels, after so long, that are kind of borrowing a lot from the first successful film that launched all these franchises. We saw it, to derisive, in Star Wars. Some people hated it, some people really enjoyed it, but like it definitely was a divided fan base from the beginning.
Yeah.
But then the first Ghostbusters attempt didn't work.
No.
But then like the second Ghostbusters attempt totally worked.
Yeah.
And then this one, I think this one works.
It works.
Like I think people have finally learned how to do this.
Yeah.
Of what the balance is between the member berries, the themes that have to come back up that reflect from the first movie, but like also adding enough new stuff going on that things make sense and people are all like, hey, you're just stealing from the first one. You're not giving us anything new. No, we actually are. There's a reason, and there's a real story reason why things are happening similarly as to the first movie.
Like, I think the story of this is, like, the one thing that I'm walking away from, like, really enjoying about this film. Mm-hmm. Mostly because, it's a little bit of it felt like a fantasy epic in a technologically forward world. Like, everyone was kind of fitting archetypes from, like, a quote-unquote, like, fantasy adventure in a way that, like, there's a little bit of a heist in there. Come on now.
There was a heist, yeah.
It doesn't like a heist. I mean, come on now, that's pretty good. Like, I felt like I was like, thematically, they're telling, like, kind of a classic story, but in this interesting setting. And I was like, yes, sometimes it can be that simple. It can be that simple. And because, like, the Matrix can get bogged down in so much other stuff going on that I was just like, no, they're just trying to get Trinity out. Great. That's enough. That is enough.
Yeah, because they kept it, for the most part, they kept it simple. Yeah. Because the sequels got more complicated to their detriments.
Yeah.
The first Matrix was pretty simple. This one is still pretty simple. And even though there was some high-minded stuff going on.
Of course.
So let's talk about the characters real quick. So we did this overall story, really good. Kept it simple like the first one. And now the new characters that show up in this movie.
Yo. New Morpheus?
New Morpheus.
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, he's awesome.
That's an amazing idea for how to do it.
Because that's the thing. On paper, that's kind of stupid. Be like, oh, well, Neo is a software developer now. They made him think that he's crazy in the game that he built. The Matrix is coming to life, but he built this like little side program with another Morpheus in there, and then they found it. They found a program within a program. They inceptioned Morpheus right into our face in a way that I was like, yeah, that is so stupid. It works like a charm.
Well, that was the thing. The movie starts off with the beginning of the first movie, with not Trinity doing the scene. And I was like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is weird. And then I forget the actress's name, but it's Connie.
Yeah.
It's Colleen from Iron Fist, who was like, yeah, you're doing something, you're awesome.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh wait, she's watched the thing. Oh, this is cool. It's cyclical for a reason. What's going on? Oh, it's not Trinity. Wait a second. This isn't how this whole thing's supposed to be.
And with them commenting on it, being like, oh well, she's about to jump off. And I was like, oh, why do they know what she's gonna do?
Right. But then it's like, oh, we're in a modal of a thing. I'm like, wait a second, are we getting too deep already? Like, I was the first couple minutes, I was getting really nervous.
Oh no!
because the actor who plays Morpheus comes out as an agent, and I was like, oh no, what is going on? Like, I know that's supposed to be Morpheus, but what's he doing in an agent? And then they used like the backdoor program from the sequel. Like, oh, that's already in the thing? That's cool. Like, they're using all the stuff we learned in the original trilogy.
Doors or the door, like, I was like, that's simple,
awesome.
But I just, love it.
Really nervous. And it was like, she unlocks him, and it's like, oh wait a second, I'm Morpheus. Wait a second, what am I doing here? I'm like, wait, what level of reality are we on? But thank God they did it really good.
They're technically in the car. If we're going from an Inception thing,
they're in the car, slowly falling off the bridge.
Yeah. It's the second level of Inception. Yeah, it's Falling Van Morpheus is what we got. I think. I could be wrong.
I think you're right. Yeah. First one's on the plane. Second one's in the van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's in the van.
Yeah.
But they explain that pretty well when she shows up to be like, hey, we need, boop, 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 we need to talk.
Yeah.
So like, very smartly done. I was like, oh yeah, Morpheus, but I'm also a little bit of Agent Smith. I'm kind of a combo deal. Oh, that's coolish.
Yep.
Yes, that's a great idea. Connie was fantastic. And the fact that, like, Colleen, damn it, why do I want to call her Connie? Colleen was fantastic. And she was like, yeah, I woke up when he looked at me. I was like, oh, wait a second, this is all one Matrix. Oh. Because remember, from the Animatrix, people would wake up at different, could wake up at different times by glimpsing the code somehow. You know what, I also really liked the team on Colleen's ship.
Yeah.
Who also, didn't die in the movie.
Thank you for not
killing those side characters.
We didn't need them to die.
We really didn't.
When they were all like, when all the bots were coming, I was like, oh wait, I don't need to see this. Like, can we all make it out? That'd be great. I would love that. And we was like, sure thing, bud.
Because I thought for sure they were dead.
I just like felt like the
times.
movie heard me when I was like, please don't, and they were like, yep.
Niobe was back as the leader.
Yo,
That was awesome.
I didn't know I needed that in my life.
I totally
But,
forgot
like-
she was even in the movie. I was like, wait a second, that's it is.
That maybe her aged up makeup was a bit much, perhaps.
a little
Maybe
bit.
it was a little like, I mean, we just put some gray in her hair and put some wrinkles. We would have bought it, like, you know what I mean?
But
like,
I mean,
she looked like a little like Mrs. Doubtfire, Jada Pinkett Smith. You know what I mean? Like it was not my favorite.
60 years inside the real world of the Matrix is a little, little
but-
rough. And then we had the little girl from the third movie, Sati, all grown up, and with like
good.
a good backstory.
That was good.
like that's and a cool robot companion in the real world.
Uh,
And robot companions.
Yeah, the world evolved in a way that I believed.
Yeah. Let's move into the actual world.
Yeah, well, we
world.
literally just talked about Morpheus as far as characters go. We skipped a couple. New Agent Smith.
New Agent Smith.
Very good. Very good. Like him kind of working and the architect putting them together in a like
Keeping
kind of
tabs on both of them.
Kind of just keeping tabs on both of them was pretty genius. And them and more like Tom Anderson and Agent Smith working in tandem and almost like healed their relationship in a way. They're not necessarily like on the same team anymore, but I think there's like a mutual respect there. Like their fight scene I thought was actually really compelling because I was like I feel like they're both pulling punches in a way. Like because I think that they have realized that maybe they're not so different. And I really loved it. I think from a character's perspective, the only thing that did not work was the Exiled. That sequence,
the Merovingian and the other.
yeah, that sequence sucked, and it was 100% their costumes. They looked like they were fighting for Rufio, and I'm not into it. Like it looked, I was like, oh man, they probably have imaginary dinners with Robin Williams, and I can't do it. And I was like, why do they look so stupid? Conceptually, really cool idea. But just, they look so stupid, I was out.
Well, when he comes, when he's just all being nonchalant, it's like, I found some old friends of yours. I was thinking we're gonna like those ghost guys from 2.
Yeah.
They mentioned like werewolves are a thing. Remember in the sequel, like, anytime you see some anomaly, that's like that's just a weird code that's messed up. Like, so it could have been like werewolves they mentioned. It's like, no, it's just like random Lost Boys popping up and fighting.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was actually gonna be like, because they were bringing so much back in a smart way. That they could have used that reference of like, hey, here's some of those rogue programs from earlier.
Not elegant at all.
Yeah.
It was the one thing that I was like, this is not clean. Everything else is pretty a clean
This one
transition.
seemed a little forced in
and
there.
maybe that's the point.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Like the Merovingian being angry about stuff makes sense because he survived every other iteration of Neo except this one. So like he lost his fortune and whatever, but like what? Why? Like I couldn't, it would have been, I don't know, just.
I would say that character was never very good to begin with, but whatever. All right.
I don't think the Merovingian was used very well in this movie. And the sequence was, fine as a fight scene, but like, I don't know, that was kind of weird. It could have been a better use for him somewhere else.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, let's talk about the real world in the Matrix.
Okay.
Because it's been 60 years, and the storyline of what's going on after Neo basically brought peace to
I
everything.
appreciated they were like, yeah, no,
Was very smartly done.
It worked. You brought, I mean, like, there was peace. Mm-hmm. It wasn't what we thought it was going to be. It wasn't going to be...
For either side.
Yeah.
Because, like, when Niobe was saying, like, yeah, Zion still thought we were at war. They weren't cool with peace either.
Yeah.
So Morpheus was still kind of fighting something that wasn't there, looking for you.
Yeah.
And it cost him his life. And I was like, that, yeah, man, that makes sense. That's why we needed to start over. Zion was gonna fall.
Yeah.
We needed to start a new city that with both good guy robots or programs or whatever, sentience is what they want to be called.
Sentience, yes.
And and humans who want to be free. Perfect. And they have really cool robot or sentients running around. They got the thing that was hugging them at the beginning,
Yeah, I really liked
and the
that.
cool like bot human, the little bots or whatever, and the thing,
Yeah.
and a little like the little guy.
They're the ones that rescued Neo.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what this needs. Like
they're like, not all of them, like some of them are cool. And I was like, that seems like a reasonable jump from where we were. Sometimes it'd be like, oh, there was peace and now we're all but. I was like, I don't believe that. I don't buy it. I don't.
well, there was a robot civil war in the interim because
Yeah.
of course there was like a scarcity started creeping in. And that breeds war. And so the first
that
time
was
we
really
ever saw,
good.
we saw robots fighting each other. Like, yes, that makes sense.
I was not expecting the world of the Matrix to feel so lived in.
Neither was I.
Like I was like, oh, okay, yes, uh-huh.
well, that was the thing because in the original trilogy, we didn't get a ton about the robots' world.
No.
It was mostly just Zion and the fight inside the Matrix. The Animatrix helped kind of guide us how we got here,
Yeah.
but we didn't learn much about, all the robot cities and the harvesting and stuff.
Yeah.
But now, like, we learned probably more about them in this movie than we did in the previous trilogy. To be
Yeah.
honest, the fact that there are factions of them. The NPH kept referring to the suits, said I could do the thing. They let me in charge, so I'm doing the thing. Well,
what does
I'm
that
not-
even mean?
I'm not dead, so the suits are still cool with it. Yeah, do whatever the heck you want. What are the suits?
What is that?
Are there different factions of robots out there? Could there be different Matrix? Because if the Matrix is like their power source, right?
Yeah.
Could there be
Another Matrix.
another mate? Because
Oh, you just blew my mind a little bit.
because it's like the world's huge.
Yeah.
So what if there's this is the North American Matrix because of this is the power grid for the continent here. What's going on in the real world seemed way larger than what was just going on in the Matrix. The Matrix story seems smaller this time.
Yeah.
And I think this is good for the franchise if they want to keep going with it. Because the story outside seems way more impactful and like there's a lot to do out here.
Yes.
Because
It doesn't feel like just a safe haven from the Matrix. It
Right.
feels like there's actually like a drive and something going on.
there's more going
100%.
on. What if Zion fell, but what if there are other humans still there?
And I would argue that one of the themes of this movie is that we're gonna coexist with the Matrix, in that
Yeah.
there was software up in the nanites of the software suits. I know that was probably created to make the software Morpheus work in the real world.
Sure.
I understand from a storytelling and from a plot device situation that just makes it easier, but
That's a really
that is awesome.
that's great.
That is awesome. That means that means so much from what's going to happen in this universe. Also, the one thing that completely blew my mind and again reinforced that we're not getting rid of the Matrix. We have there's a lot in the Matrix that we can use. They grabbed the source code for strawberries, ran the DNA sequence, and cloned a strawberry in the real world. It's we can't get rid of the Matrix because how are we going to rebuild society? We need to know there are no plants left, homie. The sun's gone. We got to figure this out. That was awesome. That blew my mind. I was like, yes.
I mean, I think therein lies where this franchise could go. Of hey, we were at war for you guys were kicking our ass for centuries.
Yeah.
We fought back. we found a way to make peace.
Uh-huh.
But it's kind of like a tenuous piece right now, as Io is like setting up like what could be. But like there's still a much bigger problem going on, because like the robots still want to be, so they're still enslaving humans for power. But like that can't hold. We now have a couple of ones running around wrecking shop on you, but maybe it's only in this Matrix.
We got 2 ones. We got the twos. The 2? Yes. Yeah.
Like what are the just not to okay. There's so my brain's exploding right now.
Man,
The more we talk about it, excited about the Matrix in almost 20 years. Because like remember at the end of the first, like what are they gonna do for the sequels? This could be. But like now we actually kind of know what they could do for the sequels, because we just talk about what's going on outside. Are there other Matrixes? What are the suits? What's Agent Smith's plan? Because he says like, I have aspirations, and if you're here, you're in my way, and I can't have that. But he never said what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
But it didn't even sound like all that super evil like last time. Like last time he was just a classic bad guy that needed to do the thing. But this time it doesn't seem like that. He just has goals and aspirations that I was like, are you serious? Because you and Neo were just basically locked up together. I kind of felt
like I was like, yo, is like Agent Smith going to become like a nanite thing like in Io? And I'm like, okay.
Well, also,
I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not mad at that one bit.
Because having the nanite stuff, kind of having programs be in the real world, solved that whole him hijacking human bodies in the sequels, which I thought was very dumb.
Yeah.
Having him be that is much better, and it makes way more sense to have him But like, there's so much to do with this story now, because they've set it up in such a way of like there are now different factions that could be having different priorities. And
it's very subtly world builded, like in a huge way.
Yeah,
like it really just kind of like reached out, and it was like you don't really feel it happening until you go, oh, I like this place again.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot we can do here.
The area that this movie breaks down for me is the action sequences. It's the only thing that I didn't find myself enjoying. I thought the editing, the shots were just not, they just weren't what has been. You know what I mean? I feel like I was looking for like some more interesting shots, and things were edited in such a way that, and I don't know that some of the actors have aged a little bit, and so they were just like kind of like playing. They were trying to like,
doing their best. But
they're trying to make it work.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but there were certain sequences I was like, I don't actually know what's going on right now. When all the cops are in that coffee shop, I was like, this is a mess.
I think most of them seemed to be, it seemed like a lot of the shots, it seemed like most of them were people.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a CG mess.
Yeah.
But
but from a shot perspective, I was like, this isn't necessarily, but I think it also comes down to the fact that a lot of the sensibilities of like the Matrix from a costume perspective, but also from an action perspective, it just all feels a little dated. And I think this movie suffers from like the Bob Newhart syndrome, in that the first Matrix came along, and it cannot be like undersold enough. The first Matrix is maybe one of the most influential action movies ever made.
It changed Hollywood.
It changed the entire game. And so when we come back to the Matrix and some of these action sequences, and like Bugs is running up the wall, and I'm like, okay. I mean, and here's the thing, and then like in 1999, I would have been like, like what is happening?
Yeah.
But also, I think, we've had the 20 years we've had since like the Matrix was really a thing, mm-hmm. and in a way that like some of the violence in this just like doesn't hit home. We were talking about this before we started recording. I was like, man, in the first Matrix, when they walk into that bank and walk through the metal detector and it goes off and they all go, oh shit, and then he's just like, it's just like, you're just like, this is the best thing ever. But like nowadays I'm like, I just killed a lot of just innocent bank people. I don't love it.
It's interesting. I think the action in this movie, everything you said is true. And also, like, you also mentioned before we were taping, like, the costume design for our Iowans. Congratulations, Iowa. In the new Matrix is dated. Like, they updated, like, the Matrix as it stands right now seems very current.
Uh-huh.
Like, they have a coffee shop called
Simulates.
Simulates, thank you. It was like, oh, that's really clever. The Matrix game studio was like, that is a modern studio. So like,
some of the
they have all the
sensibilities-
phones, like it's modern. Yes, it's all like a very modern-looking Matrix, at least for us in the real world now watching.
But all
this.
of them entering the Matrix and all their outfits and stuff, there was just like kind of a 2000s.
It was, yes, it looked 20 years old. The outfits didn't change.
Like
with
the only
times.
the only outfits that I felt like represented a modern Matrix vibe was New Morpheus. Like all of his looks, I was like, yes. Also strut that runway, mama, looking fly as all hell at all times. But like even when like Bugs had her blue glasses with the line in it, I was like, no, I just like don't buy it.
No, neither did I. I like the blue hair, but like
it just kind of took me out of it.
It didn't. The action. This is what we were talking about. Like, so the Matrix changed basically, not only Hollywood but also pop culture in general. Of like, what is acceptable for like breaking reality, breaking the laws of physics in a fight scene, right? So it's been 20 years since that happened.
Yeah.
So we've gotten pretty good at like, well, if I could just run on walls and do crazy stuff, like we all come up with like some amazing, and we've seen like Spider-Man and all these other, superheroes do all this amazing stuff, right? So now it's been 20 years. Now we're
Matrix did it first.
Matrix did it first, but now we're back to the Matrix, and it seems like in the 60 years in the Matrix world of people being in the Matrix, they've kind of been stuck in the, oh, well, this is all what we can do, and they haven't come up with any cool new things to do in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
They did. I mean, they're like, oh, we don't have to find a phone booth anymore. I'm like, it seems still pretty hard to get out of there.
Oh, sure. Stuff like that. That's good. Like that's updating the Matrix. But just people in the Matrix who are like realize it's a simulation, so we can bend the rules or whatever. Didn't get very creative when it came to bending the rules in the past 60 years.
I was hoping for them to get a little bit more savvy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Neo and now Trinity can like do some amazing stuff. Well, why can't these guys also not do the stuff that they can, but maybe get a little better at like doing some wacky, like maybe just actually like Spider-Maning up a wall or just anything that's a little bit different. That they're like, well, we decided we could just bend the rules. Why not? We could just here's a lasso of truth with just doing crazy.
Yeah.
Like we can just do cool random stuff now.
I will say, I mean, but the thing is that once you take the governor off that, I think it's kind of the slide down to Cuckoo Nut Town is pretty quick. Like it's like once anything, you know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, you gotta be smart with it, but like just because they moved everything, they moved all the goalposts for everything else, every other facet of the story moved a little bit.
Yeah, except for actually going into the
except for the fighting. Yeah.
And honest to God,
it's a nitpick, but like
it is I mean, but that's the thing is that like it was. I find it a little frustrating, but again, if you're gonna focus on anything in a Matrix movie, keeping the story compelling and keeping the themes and like the kind of like the psychological questions of it strong, and the action kind of sucks, I'll take it.
Oh, sure.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
Like if it was just like the action was the same, but I was like, what is going on? I'd be like, nah, I would have checked out. So like this is, we got what we needed out of this movie.
Absolutely. The movie succeeded where it needed to succeed. Especially like even Neo being able to do a little bit, force powers.
I kind of leaned on that a little too much.
But he was trying to like regain his abilities.
I understand, but it was like
maybe I could.
I was like, oh, what's gonna happen now? Oh, Neo's gonna put his
force
hands up?
field. Neo uses force field.
Okay.
Once again, it's super effective.
Okay, cool, man. Let's go. That's the one that whole sequence just really kind of like
at the end there, if you just
of them trying to like get out of the city. I was like, this. All right. Can we just get done, please?
Understandable.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Speaking of the major themes and stuff in this movie, one of the things that this movie succeeded in, and not most movies fail at this, is they actually had a device being able to have a meta conversation about the Matrix in the Matrix.
Which I think is maybe the most compelling aspect of this entire film. Yeah. Just setting up that he is a game designer and his magnum opus is him creating a video game version of the whole story of the first 3 Matrix movies. And it being, the Matrix, quote unquote, being a part of his life in that way. could have been the stupidest thing.
It very easily could have been.
It was incredible. In that, and the architect gaslighting him into thinking that he's crazy, and he's just like actualizing any memories he has about it. It's just him actualizing his game in his own head, and he's going crazy. Like, first of all, that's gaslighting in the purest sense, and that is like so screwed up. But also, I got that Matrix tingle again, in that for the first 45 minutes, I wasn't sure which direction they were going to go with it.
Oh, really?
I was like, is he crazy? I was like, are they using this movie
Are they
just
going to
to...
New Heart this whole thing and have him be a dream the whole time?
Are they here to tell me that the Matrix never really existed? Is that what's happening? Or is he the one that's going to like develop the technology that the machines are going to be inevitably be able to use in order, and so that like, I thought for a second, I was like, are they setting up that like Neo's going to happen in the Matrix because like this game becomes source code in some degree, and so this source code is built into here, so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in the Matrix. I was like, where are they going with this right now? In a way that I like, because like the first time he tries to get out, he fails, and he wakes up at his therapist's office, and I was like, is he crazy? Uh-oh. So good on you, Matrix. You kind of bamboozled me a little bit.
I guess it was a montage scene where they're singing the song and he's taking the pills and they're having the meetings in the office. Like, okay, when we think of the Matrix, when we think of the Matrix, we're thinking bullet time.
Yeah.
We're thinking of the Matrix. We're thinking like the Matrix changed the game. Like, this is probably what boardroom meetings are like for video game people. But the fact that they are like having a conversation about the game, and it's really like about the movie, of like the reason why we're watching this movie now because of the success of the first movie 20 years. Like, this is so good, and so because they took a shot at Warner Brothers in that, which was like, good on you.
Good on you.
But like, yeah, Warner Brothers kind of came at us like, we're gonna make this movie or this game, with or without you. So get on board.
I wasn't 100% in on this movie until like he looks at Neo and just goes, "Look, Warner Brothers is gonna make this fourth one, whether you're involved or not. So let's just get on board." And I was like, I could just see the entire creative staff. I could see the Wachowskis just looking through the screen, being like,
"See you.
We didn't want to make this. We're going to do the best we can with what we have. Get on board. We're going to give you a good movie, but we did not want to make this movie." But it's better this than someone else.
I mean, honestly, that sequence is probably one of the smartest things I've seen in cinema in a very long time, of being like, listen, taking ownership of the franchise itself. It's very hard for a franchise to talk about itself inside of its own content.
Yeah, man.
But they were able to pull this off here, and like,
it's one of the few times where they've actually and I feel like those are conversations I would have with people like after the second movie, and be like, well, why didn't this work? Okay, well, like, what is even the Matrix? Like, what are we doing here? Mm-hmm. I was just like, I feel really seen by this. Mm-hmm. I feel really seen by this.
Because it's like, you know how like, okay, maybe small vague spoiler for Spider-Man. But you know how like in Spider-Man No Way Home, there was some healing done for previous movies in the Spider-Man universe? This movie Matrix didn't need to do that for the trilogy, but I think they just kind of like acknowledged the previous films in our world of like, hey, there was some inconsistencies and didn't quite work out the way we wanted to, but like, what is, we changed the game, it was really hard, like, we did some stuff, and now there's other ones coming, even though we really don't want to, but like, we're kind of trapped and we're doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Like, we're all on the same page. The creative team's on the same page. The actors are on the same page. Now the fans are on the same page. And I was like, very well done.
Yeah.
We don't need to like really forgive you for anything from the previous films, but just like, okay, cool. This was nice.
Yeah, and that's one thing I actually really respect about the films. This film in particular, but like the trilogy as a whole, is that like this movie could have been an apology tour for 2 and 3, but it just didn't do that. And as much as I felt betrayed by 2 and 3, I appreciate them sticking to their guns and be like, no, that's what happened in the movies. This is canon. This is not going to be the time travel movie that we're going to go back and save stuff. It's like, no, we're just going to we're going to just slap a new coat of paint on it and figure it out.
The stuff happened. It all mattered. You changed the world. We're moving forward. And now we can kind of maybe do it again, but this time a little bit better because we've had 20 years to think about it, and a lot of things have changed in the real world to help us make a better sci-fi fantasy future movie about robots taking over.
Yeah.
Speaking of robots taking over, I think that we should probably end on or talking about NPH's big master plan and his bullet time scene, which was
bullet time scene,
which was just that was a pop. That he is a good actor.
He was good.
He is good.
He did a good job. He was very scary.
Right?
Also being so nice.
But wow, that reveal oh yeah, it's been me the whole time. Hello. Oh,
we kind of knew. I mean, it wasn't.
I didn't know.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, I kind of had a feeling. Yeah. And it also just explained why they're important in a way from the machine's perspective. That just I was like, I needed this because we've spent so much time of Neo being Neo being code Jesus in a way that they never fully understand, but just. Because with the machines, it all comes down to just power. You guys are power. You're batteries. And thank you for that. And that's all well and good. But them being he's like, yeah, if I just keep you apart, for some reason, you just put out way more energy. And I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, it's like magnets. Can just generate power when they pass each other. But if they touch, it's
over.
It's over.
Oh, that's a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, they should have used that analogy in the show.
Well, they didn't need to. They see that scene. Was awesome, but also was hey, remember that scene with the architect in the second one that was oh my, Philosophy 301, it was. Oh, I think we need to have a scene where the bad guy explains what's going on, but we need to make sure this is more like Philosophy 101, and we can also do some cool social commentary in it. It's not too heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And just hey, no, this is the situation. This is what happened in the real world. The suits gave me the ability to, I was there when you died. I had this idea of a plan because I wasn't, the last guy didn't really care about you guys, but I do. I really wanted to see what makes you tick. And I learned that if I just keep you guys doped up on fear and hope at the right levels, or desire, it was fear and desire, at that right little golden ratio, you guys churn out so much power. It's fantastic. I was like, hey, that rings kind of true. Thanks.
Yeah.
But that would make sense of how a more modern Matrix would keep everybody believing in the thing.
Who do you think of the two of us would put out the most energy from the Matrix perspective? Which of our batteries would be stronger?
Possibly yours.
I think mine. This is
by a good 15%.
This is always going. This is just. This hamster wheel. My hamster is a beefy.
The hamster stuck in your mind palace Arby's is just totally
putting up plates.
But the fact that he was all you know what, we needed to figure out what what the next thing was, and you gave us the idea. Bullet time. Why didn't we think of that? Thanks for the idea. Oh, it's another meta. Oh, it's another meta comment. Oh,
yeah.
Very well done.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys used your own idea against the people in the thing. It's so smart. It's so smart. And the fact, and then he got killed, and then not killed, and then Agent Smith kills him, but didn't kill him, and he got his jaw broken. That was pretty awesome.
Slices it out again.
But it just. He's NPH kind of being an antagonistic force of I just set up this new Matrix. It's actually really working really well for us. He did a very good job. That scene was fantastic. Them trying to utilize bullet time. Overall, NPH crushed it. And he's helped by a fantastic script. He elevated a fantastic script.
Yeah.
It's
the script was really tight. I mean, I think we've.
Oh, we've covered pretty much all of it. Yeah.
And honestly, the more we talk about it, the more I find myself having fondness for this movie in my head.
I would like to go back and watch it again.
I kind of do too. I kind of really want to watch it again. And, I think that the takeaway is that was this perfect? By no means. But, was this an acceptable, Matrix movie? I think so.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
That's because I think that's the problem with 2 and 3, is that like the first Matrix came and just blew everyone's minds right out of blew their minds, and it was like the expectations were so high that these had to be like world-changing movies. That like if they had just like taken a second and pulled it back a little bit and just been like, no, we're just like trying to make like a modest sci-fi film, I think they would have been much better. Like they were just trying, they went blockbuster so fast that it was like, no.
The lesson I think they learned for this one is like, we need to keep this simple.
Yep.
And they did. The only like real twist was like, oh, by the way, Trinity now has part of the source code too, because I even mentioned it, like I was the one that had to convince the suits to bring you both back. So like we used the source code that was in you to like make you guys whole again. And I was like,
that sequence of the robots rebuilding them was a bummer.
ew. I was like,
I hated it.
That was not great. That was not great. But like her having the abilities now, fantastic. Now there's 2 of them. But now like I think for like the sequels, if they wanted to, again, I think hopefully they learned the lesson of like, let's keep this simple. What should the second one have been? Okay, we're remaking the Matrix, trying to make it better, and trying to be like, hey everybody, here's what's going on.
What can we take from the Matrix to make like how can we advance human society, not by destroying the Matrix, by maintaining the Matrix?
And I think what they can do is, all right, well, they're trying their best to like make a better Matrix and wake enough people up to be like, hey, we need to figure out what a peaceful solution for everything is. And like inside the Matrix, you're gonna have people be like, no, I don't want to go. This is way better. Why would you take that from me? Outside, while the suits are doing something.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of different what's Agent Smith up to. And hopefully this is not copying himself and everybody again. Have a better plan for him. But like there's enough cool things here that if they kept it simple, everyone having a simple desire, like they could easily make a couple more films out of this if everyone's willing, and it would be fun.
Yeah.
So like,
I just want to see more new Morpheus suits. I'm into it.
Damn, he was
just for that.
He was silent and
profiling. The yellow one with the gold. I was like, oh yeah. Oh whoa.
Oh, when he shimmied into the gi for the fight scene to try to wake him up, that was nice. That was really good. So I can assume we would both say we recommend this film.
Yeah, go see this movie.
It's on HBO Max, right?
I don't know if you need to see this one in theaters. I would say HBO Max.
HBO Max.
I mean, with COVID now, be safe is the moral of the story. I risked my life twice for Spider-Man, so.
What did you guys think of this movie? Let us know in the comments below, or hop in our Discord channel where lots of fun, cool people are talking about lots of fun, cool stuff. We'd love to have you join the conversation. The link is down below in our description box. So while you're down there, please like, subscribe, hit that bell.
Do that YouTube that you do so well. Guacamole's extra. You Matrix fighting weirdos, you. And also, big thank you to our sponsor for this video, Corey Krill Oil. Thanks, guys. We hope you liked our weird little skit.
I hope you liked the skit that you saw about 40 minutes ago.
Oh, wow. We've been talking for a while.
We probably could have talked longer.
I know.
This movie's really good.
It was really good.
It was very good. Really, conversation starter.
Yeah, we have like the emotional ones where we're like, oh, let's break down the This was just like, let's talk.
To the whiteboard. We need to diagram.
You know, that's what it is. It's a whiteboard one. It's like there's ones where it's like, wait, here's how we feel. Eternals, yeah! Spider-Man, yeah! Whiteboard. Like Matrix. How did this work?
This worked. We dissect it. Bring it. Anyways. Okay. Other video is popping up right.
Yeah.
Please watch this. We would appreciate it as much as we appreciate you watching all of this one. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.